and also, maybe I should ask the first question. How did you get inspired to do this film? What's the story behind it? How did you find the subject and get into it?
That's always the first question that I'm asked is, how did you find out about blind sailing? And it really goes back to Betsy Allison. Betsy Allison is a tireless proponent of inclusive sailing, and she brought a slide presentation to a collegiate women's nationals that my daughter was in. And she showed a slideshow of adaptive sailors, and I found that really inspiring. But when she said the word blind sailing, literally a light bulb went off in my head, and I just knew it was something I wanted to find out more about. And it took me on a very long journey, a wonderful journey.
Yes, and also I would like to ask the same question to Juhl. Job.
So, your question again? How did we get?
Yes, well, the inspiration behind the film, and how did you get involved?
Well, for me, I'm the Chief Executive Officer of the Himalayan Cataract Project, and so most of my day is spent focused on training surgeons, finding the resources to provide the care, as the piece showed. The very short part of it was focused on the operating theater. Imagine getting the supplies from either within country or out of country, getting the microscopes, etc. So the opportunity to make a film, which a friend of our founder, who's a climber, made all his films in his life about incredible climbing, very complicated films, of course, but about adrenaline, etc. Wanted to participate, and he really wanted to focus on the patients, and before, during, and after. And this was about a 2-year process, and so that it came because of the motivation of one filmmaker. Though it's certainly not my job. I'm not a producer. This was a labor of love, and that's how it came to be.
Yeah, it's very interesting that you point out to the inspiration being one person's inspiration, like also in the case of Christine's case. And that's basically what a story is, and that's what this festival is all about. We decided that this is a platform for filmmakers who decide to tell socially relevant stories with human interest in them and focus on these stories rather than be absorbed into the pressures of the commercial requirements of what's out there in the market. And we made a point as the socially relevant film festival to say that is what we want to promote. It's not easy, but of course nowadays even blockbusters have trouble getting people into theaters, let alone films that have social issues, but we're not giving up because we believe that sooner or later this is going to be the mainstream cinema. This is the type of films people are happy and willing and waiting to see, because I think we've had enough of the other kind. So maybe I will ask Christine how she decided who ended up in the film to tell the story. Were you filming like a lot of people and then narrowed it down, or did you initially decide who were your protagonists to tell this story?
Well, Arthur O'Neill, when I was directed to that he was really the key person in this sport, organizing, he immediately told me about Matt. And Matt was someone that really had been sailing the longest, and I just basically showed up with a camera and started filming and met different people, and I was following some different people, and then kind of branched out into meeting Nancy and Phil and Inky, and they were so charismatic. They just were fun and interesting and smart, and they had the right kind of energy to be characters.
Maybe